Hello, my name is Bart and I am software engineer here in Poland, and in this vlog I want to share with you my knowledge that I've gained during my career. Today we are going to talk a little bit about the VRIN model, because I think that when you're thinking this way you can be much more successful. But before we will talk about that, let me take you to the ride. So welcome at my recording studio. It's quite nice place, yeah? Okay, but before we will proceed and talk about VRIN, let's think for a moment. Have you ever been told that you cannot get a raise because there is no reason why you should get those? Or maybe you've created an offer as a consultant to the company that you want to work for, and they told you, well man, you're too expensive, we cannot accept this offer. Or maybe you're a company owner and you've created a great product, but a big company created something that solves your client's problems and gives it for free, and your product is no longer useful and nobody wants to pay for that. If you answered yes to one of the previous questions, this vlog is for you. Because in this vlog I will show you how to calculate your competitive advantage using VRIN model. So let's start. VRIN is an acronym, and V letter stands for value. So how much value do you give to your clients? How valuable is your product? R letter stands for rarity. So how rare is the product or thing that you produce? And I letter is about inimitability. So how easy is to copy your product, how easy is to copy your skills. And last but not the least, the N letter, non-sustainable. So how easy is to replace your product by something else. Like for example, cars replaced horses because they were cheaper, easier to maintain, and also faster. Now let's take a look at 3 real-life examples and see how we can measure the competitive advantage as an employees, as conference speakers, and also as a company owners that creates and sells the products. Let's take a look at the first example. Let's say you're a software engineer, .NET programmer, and you want to score your competitive advantage on the market. So let's take a look at the first letter, V, valuable. How valuable is your work? So at the scale, at the 10 of the 10, put the person who's the most valuable for the company. Everyone has those person in the company who gives the most to the company, trains others, and gives the most value. And at the 1 of the 10, put someone who is just hired, just starting in the company, and he will need a lot of assistance. Where are you on the scale? Are you providing a lot of value, or maybe you're on the newbie side? So now take a look at R letter. How rare are your skills? 10 of the 10 scores people who has very unique skills. Only you've got those skills in the company, and it's very hard to hire a person with those skills. And 1 out of the 10 is a person who has skills like everyone in this company. So now I letter, inimitability. So how easy is to copy your skills. So 10 out of the 10 will be the person who's the most experienced in your company, let's say. And this person has a lot of domain knowledge, specific domain knowledge about public transportation or maybe financial knowledge that nobody in the company has. Or maybe you're able to create relationships with your clients, and you have those unique relations with your clients, and it's not easy to copy those skills, those relationships, because it will take a lot of effort to achieve that. In the 1 of the 10 scale, put person who's new, who just starting with programming, has no connection, no domain knowledge, stuff like that. And now the last letter, N, non-sustainability. How easy is to replace you? So now we are talking a lot about AI that will replace in the end programmers. But if you've got those combination of the skills like selling, like programming, and being specialized in certain area of the programming, you're probably safe. So at the scale 10 of the 10, put person who is very specialized, who is very good at communication and selling. And on the 1 of the 10th, put person who is programming websites or stuff like that can be easily replaced by some generators. Okay, so that's how you can measure your competitive advantage as a programmer and employee. And now take a look at those scale and see where you're at the bottom of the scale. If it's rarity, just think how you can improve that so your skills will be rare and not easy to achieve for anyone. Or maybe you're not giving enough value. So if you will start thinking about those areas and improving those areas, you will be able to achieve more, you will become better employee, and in the end probably you will start earning more money. And now let's take a look at the second example. Okay, so now take a look at the second example. You want to be a conference speaker and speak on the particular conference, and you don't know what you should present to make sure that you will be accepted. So let's take a look at each of the VRIN areas and see how it can help you. So valuable. How can your presentation be valuable? Well, maybe that's only a fun presentation, so think about the most funny presentation that you've ever seen. But the best presentations are those that gives a lot of value. So think about the best presentation you've ever seen, the presentation that changed your life. And this is 10 of the 10. And now think about presentation that changed nothing in your life, the presentation where you couldn't learn anything. It's 1 of the 10 presentation. And now let's take a look at the second area. Rarity. How rare is your presentation? Only you doing those presentation and nobody else addresses those problems? 10 of the 10. And everyone says about that. There's plenty of those presentations. 1 out of the 10. So you will try to focus on the topics that are rare. So you want to create a unique value proposition, and also you want to give a value. Okay, so let's think about the third area, imitability. So how easy is to copy your value proposition? So very charismatic, very experienced speakers are at the top. 10 of the 10. Think about the most experienced, most charismatic person you know. And at the bottom level, 1 of the 10, put a person who just starting with presentations, and it's very easy to copy their skills. And now we've got non-substitutable, not sustainable, sorry, non-substitutable, so it's not easy to replace those presentation. How the presentation could be replaced? For example, it can be replaced by tutorial. So if your presentation could be replaced by tutorial, it's 1 of the 10. But if your presentation address very specific problem and does it very well, and those knowledge can be only gained during your presentation, it's 10 of the 10. It's great presentation. It's very unique and also solves someone's problems. So now you see how you can score your presentation against those VRIN model and how you can increase your chances to be accepted on a conference. Okay, and the third case. So let's say you're a company owner and you create a product and you want to sell it well and sell it widely. So let's focus on those 4 aspects of the product. So valuable. At the top of the scale, put companies that provides the most value to their clients. So they rapidly change and adjust their product to make sure that their clients get the best experience that they can. And on the bottom of the scale, put those companies that produce products that are useless. They won't give any value to the customers. And then score yourself. Where are you? You're on the top or on the bottom. Ask your clients where does they see your product. And then rarity. 10 of the 10, nobody creates a similar product and solves similar problems. And 1 of the 10, you're on the red ocean, there's a lot of competition and you have to adjust and to lower the prices to make sure that someone buys your product. And now the I letter in imitability. So your product should be hard to copy. So think about companies that copying would require a lot of skills and a lot of assets. For example, Facebook, 10 of the 10. To create similar social network, you will have to spend millions of dollars to create something like that. And 1 of the 10, something that's very easy to copy, to take your idea and put into the product and sell. That's 1 of the 10. That everyone can do that. And the last letter, non-substitutable. So how easy is to replace your product? If it's necessary, for example, to leave and I cannot replace it by any substitute, then it's 10 of the 10. And if it's very easy to replace that, it's 1 of the 10. Think, where are you in this scale? This is how you can think about your product to make sure that it will provide as much value as possible and creates competitive advantage. And there is a thing that you have to remember. Your VRIN score will change in time. So for example, last year I created a presentation about serverless computing, and when I told that the first time, nobody was talking about serverless, and my presentation was pretty rare. But right now, in Poland at least, but I see the same trend in the whole world, everyone is talking about serverless computing, and people are talking about serverless like a new microservices. So everyone is talking about that. And now if I would like to talk once again about how to create a simple function on the Azure or on AWS, then nobody would like to hear about it. But if I would create a presentation about more complex scenario where I'm using those functions in real life projects, people would be interested, because nobody is showing how to use serverless computing in bigger projects. I hope that you've liked this video and I could share with you my knowledge, and if you think that this video is valuable, let's click those like button below, and if you have any comments or any questions, put them below in the comment section. I will try to address them in the next video, or maybe I will answer them in the comment section. So thank you for today, bye!